Yeah, we're back here and I'm gonna give my final thoughts on the Aful Magic, no, not Magic, Snowy Night. Thank you so much for watching my previous video, guys, and I don't know, like the last time I did my video, I kept saying snowy white, and for me it didn't make sense why it's white and it's black in color. It's actually Snowy Night. So sorry for that. But yeah, anyhow, where do I start? I'll start with the build. This one's pretty great actually for the price. It just feels very solid actually. The buttons are not finicky. The cable's thick. Some people like thick probably.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, build is really good though. And as for the power draw or power consumption, it's decent. It doesn't really drain the battery from the source that much. I noticed like probably an hour, maybe about 5 to 10% depending on the source's battery condition, of course. It does heat up, but not in a way that it's annoying, because some dongles just heats up and you really get worried about it. It happened to me. Some of the dongles I have, I think it was the VE, the Venture Electronics one, and CX Pro, I think. I forgot. But anyhow, just, it warms up, but not to the point that you get worried about, because I think it's just normal, because there are amps here, and, it's drawing power from your phone or from any source. Now, moving on to the sound, I posted graphs. I just measured it, and it kind of like, how do I say? It kind of like proves what I heard about it, because I thought that the treble was really smooth. I didn't really hear any peaks. When I look at its graph, it actually slopes down around starting 10K, something like that. So on listening, you really hear the smoothness in the treble. Bass is really tight and linear overall. So I thought that probably this one's not really good for measuring, because it might not pick up higher frequencies past 10K, but I was wrong, because I measured 2 IMs, but they basically graph the same. So I'm really wondering what's happening with regards to how you graph sources and like measuring them. So yeah, they're pretty, for me, they're pretty, should I say natural though? Natural sounding in a way, not too digital, because as I've mentioned, the treble is not boosted, the bass is also not overdone. But then again, it's so hard to review sources because it might just be placebo, But I do notice changes, very subtle changes though, very subtle, probably just 5% change, man. Like it's so hard to review sources. So this is what I think about the Snowy White, and comparing it with another dongle that I have now. I recently unboxed this. It's the HiFiGo S9 Pro. This sounds a bit brighter actually. It's also a bit more expensive, I think at $139. Build quality is kind of like finicky, because you can hear those sounds when you tap. And with this one here, you get an independent volume. That means like even if you change the volume here, the volume on the source doesn't change. With this one, I think I proved that in my video. Like when I change the volume, it changes the volume level. It's just one, yeah, it's just one volume. With this one here, you can change the volume here and also the volume of the source. This sounds subjectively brighter for me. It's normal ESS sound. I mean, I've heard ESS DAPs when I was in Japan, and I mean my N3X is warmer. It's ESS, but it's warmer. It's channeling implementation. But usually ESS sounds brighter, and this is not any different. This is more expensive. It also has a balanced out, but man, like the build quality in the AFUL Snowy Night is just like really amazing. You have an independent volume wheel, so I feel like this has more value, and you won't get into trouble if your IMs have treble peaks in past 10K, because for some reason this one tames it down, makes it really smooth. For other dongles though, I've reviewed the what's that, HiBi FC6, the R2R. I still think that is superior, but also more expensive. There's just something about R2R that makes everything sound very natural and velvety, and probably it's the implementation itself. Haven't measured it though. I hope I did. What are the dongles that I do have other dongles, like the cheap ones, the GMX Pro and J Cali stuff, but yeah, I think this is an overall upgrade. This one here is comparable to an entry or mid-level DAP in terms of sound, because it's just really smooth, and you don't get that with dongles, like the cheaper dongles. That's what I thought. Cause sometimes I prefer the sound of the Snowy White over my M3X, and just one reason why I don't really take this, because it's such a hassle, man. Like, all my files are on my DAP and I need to connect this, and it's just, you know, extends the connection. It's not so portable for me, especially if I like put the DAP in my pocket, things like that. But it's just portability issues, really. It's a personal thing. But yeah, I did find myself listening to it using, I mean, plugging it into the laptop and, you know, listening stuff, and also through my phone, connect to Apple Music, and didn't really have any problems. All in all, yeah, I think I can recommend this dongle Snowy White, first from Aful. Oh, and one thing to note though, surprisingly, this pairs well with the I haven't tried the P5s, but it's surprisingly, it pairs well with Aful products like the P8. Man, it's so good on the P8. It's so good. I thought that it had a similar sound to when I tried P8 and Heavy FC6, because sometimes the P8 has that thinness in the treble in the cymbals, but when I tried it with the FC6, it was so natural sounding. And then when I tried it with the AFUL Snowy Night, I kind of like felt the same thing, probably like 90%, that smoothness and very organic timbre. Also with the Magic One, it's so good with the Magic One. So I don't know, like, probably the AFUL Snowy Night is really meant to be paired with AFUL products, because of course it's AFUL, you know, like who wouldn't do that? But you know, that was just my observation. I tried with the Magic One and the AFUL P8, and you know, they sound so good. So if you have those products from AFUL, it might be worth buying the AFUL Snowy Night, or you audition. You know, I always suggest auditioning IMs, because it's always the best informed decision you can get. So I think that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video, and maybe I can read some comments here. Let me check. Yeah, this one's from It's Ya Boy 8904. Commented on my Celeste Phoenix Call. How is this for gaming compared to Hexa and the blue one? I play Valorant. I didn't really use this for gaming. I mean, the Phoenix Call didn't use it for gaming. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's difficult because the Phoenix Call has a strange staging to it, so it might be good depending on, you know, how you're used to getting the sound. But personally, I haven't really played this one here from Views. I'm assuming this is from this is an old comment from Heyday. I'm assuming since HB collab best is done to mids, how about the mids highs for comparison? How does it stack with the S12 Pro? The HBB1, the Heyday, is actually smoother than the S12 Pros and the S12s. But I don't know, like, I felt like it's too veiled for my taste, probably because of the sub bass. Which one has more pronounced consonants and sibilants? It should be the S12s. It should be the S12s. Because the Heyday is smoother in comparison. But this is an old IEM. I think that the MP145 from Hidis is a good buy recently. It grasps well, doesn't have a lot of peaks, and it sounds good. So yeah, I'll look forward for my reviewing that. I'm gonna review that soon. And so yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys, and hope you have a nice day. Bye.